Well, we've officially made it to Water 7, brothers and sisters, and I couldn't be happier. It looks absolutely amazing, and that's just scratching the surface.
One Piece Chapter 323, The City of Water, Water 7.
Things heating up already. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome, tantalizing, Water City-filled tale of One Piece. Our last chapter, of course, saw us kind of being introduced just generally to just some of the workings of Water 7 and some of, I guess, the outlying islands around it, as we saw this on-the-water rail train, Puffing Tom, which was actually really cool to see. And nonetheless, though, the they stopped at this kind of water train station, I guess you would say, and ultimately wound up meeting a couple of folks there. No one of real consequence that we can see so far, but ultimately just kind of got a little bit of a background on Water 7 and that it's the best place in the world to go. They have a lot of shipwrights and certainly a good place to go and get the Going Merry fixed. So that's where things left off. That's where things pick up. Luffy and company are given this just kind of general map and told that, hey, when you get to Water 7, have a good time, enjoy yourself. It's going to take a week for the log post to reset, to lock onto the next island, and just enjoy yourselves. And certainly, they can go there. And then also they directed them to meet this man, Iceberg, that would help them or point them in the right direction to actually fix their ship. So very, very cool stuff, man. Just because after that, as they're going and they're sailing, we see a number of different things too, and I'm thinking that honestly, my gut feeling is that the Going Merry, in some way, shape, or form, that her time is short, and the reason that I think that is because you go and you have a lot of talk about how it needs to be repaired now at this, how at that, but then you even get Usopp, who's kind of just like hugging on to the mast, where they got those tin plates around it, and he's like, once we get it all fixed up, it just won't be the same anymore, and blah, 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 and they talk about all the leaks in the bilge, and just, the deck creaking, and all these things that it's been through. And like I said, I don't know. Maybe they will get it fixed up and what have you. But there's an instance later on when they pull into Water 7 too, and they go to unfurl the sails and everything, and Zoro just pulls lightly on the rope, and thing snaps and almost comes down on them and everything else. So it's like I said, not looking good right now. So hopefully they can find a carpenter, a shipwright, and to join the crew as well. And that's the other thing too that you get while they're on the trip to Water 7 is you get Luffy talking about, first of all, Sanji's like, I'll find one. I'll find a hot carpenter, right? And Zoro's like, listen, anybody will do as long as they have the skills and they want to actually join a pirate crew. Luffy's like, I want somebody who's 5 meters tall, which is like 15 feet or whatever, And he draws this goofy picture of it and everything else, but we know Luffy and his skills. Nonetheless, though, just a little bit of just talking amongst them. And then when they approach Water 7, it's actually really cool. The only thing that I could compare it to here in the real world is Venice, because obviously it's a city that's kind of built, and on water, so to speak, and with these different canals and everything running through it. And a lot of the foundations, of course, are actually built on water, or on top of water. But this is much cooler looking, man. I mean, when they pull up to it, just this giant city, and there's this huge fountain and everything in it, and the city actually looks like it's just floating on the water. But, once you look closer, you can see, obviously, that there's pillars and foundation. The foundation's built below the surface. But very cool stuff. As they're going to pull in, they're like, all right, we'll go around. They see where the train comes in and everything at this blue station. They're like, well, we'll go around to the front. Somebody in a rowboat is like, hey, no, you're pirates. Go around. You don't want to go in the front over there. Go around this side, And then somebody else directs them, no, go over here, you can go. So they wind up eventually getting around and coming upon like this little embankment or whatever, and they are able to dock, and that's when the incident happens with with the sails and whatnot, and just like I said, just the Going Merry is just falling apart, so it's not looking too good at the moment anyway. But anyway, as we get them to get off, they're all getting ready to get off the ship, and Nami's going to give everybody an allowance so they can go out into the town. And Luffy's all excited, there's a new island to go to, and Nami just wants to go and find this Iceberg character so they can, start working on hopefully getting... Well, number one, she needs to get the gold exchanged in for money, you know what I mean? I don't know if there's like a cash for gold type place around there, but that's what she needs to do. And then she also wants to find this Iceberg. The rest of the chapter, though, is kind of cool because it takes place, we wind up hearing about something about there's some commotion with pirates over at Dock 1, and I'm thinking, what the hell did the Straw Hats do now? You know, because it just cut away from him for a second. And then we go and we're introduced to this this pirate of the something helmet pirates, Mizukira, I think his name was. I forget the exact name, and I don't know if he has. Let's see, Mikazuki, yeah, Mikazuki, and this pirate goes in, and what it is he's refusing to pay his bill. He's refusing to pay his bill. The carpenters, the shipwrights, whatever, fixed his ship, and he's all happy with it. But he's like, the price just seems a little too steep, and I'm just going to be a dick pirate. I'm just not going to pay, right? And he just refuses to pay. So then we go and we're introduced briefly, and we wind up seeing this iceberg character. And he's this dude, you know, he's got the little wire rim glasses, he's got his hair slicked back, and there's this female, this woman next to him. And I think her name was maybe Khalifa or something like that. Because he's like, Khalifa, what's the problem? You know, it's like, oh, Mr. Iceberg, sir, they don't want to pay, you know, for their this crew, this pirate crew is causing a commotion. They don't want to pay for their repairs over there, you know. And he's like, oh, that won't do, you know. And as this is all going down, we see some of these different like carpenters and what have you, these kind of like everyday blue collar workmen, kind of walking around and getting around these pirates and everything else and whatnot, you know. And you see this guy with a cigar hanging out of his mouth, and he's got this big log over his shoulder, and he almost looks like a Zorro type character, you know, just his look, the way he's drawn and everything. But anyway, one minute he's there, and then the next minute, man, he goes and he takes this log and he, I mean, just cold cocks this Mikazuka or Mikazuki, whatever this pirate, just nails him, you know. And then you see kind of everybody starting to go at it. You know, you wind up seeing this cool buzz saw or this big looking saw get pulled out, like one of those big 2-man saws. You know, they have to get on each side of the log. You know, the old time ones. And pretty cool stuff, man. Because you see them, and then the chapter ends up with this double page spread, man. And I really thought this was neat over here. Let's get that up there so everybody can see. I really thought that was neat, though. Pirate ways don't fly in the world of craftsmen. And it's called the Galley-la Company, Water Seven Shipbuilding Firm, purveyors to the world government. And you go and you see this motley crew of characters, and I mean, they look just as badass, if not even more so, than probably almost any pirate crew that we've seen so far. So I thought it was kind of neat to go and see, like, and then you go and you can see this Mikazuka or whatever just knock the funk out, man. And I'm sure they just laid out everybody, you know. And at some point he actually tried to threaten them. He's like, you don't want to pick a fight with pirates, you know. Yeah, I don't think you want to pick a fight with these dudes, man. These are some big, burly woodsman types and what have you. So, very cool stuff, though. Very neat to see it. And obviously, this is that point where you start to go and you start up an arc, and you start to get introduced to some of these new characters. You don't know which one. And for me, it's cool, because I don't know which ones are going to be important, which ones are going to kind of just be relegated to background characters, which ones we'll see, never see again, you know. Very, very neat stuff, though. But I guess ultimately, my chapter question, though, brothers and sisters, is what are your thoughts on Water 7 itself as the city? Just the look and the way it was drawn by Oda. Beautiful. I really like everything. I like the huge fountain in the center, making it appear as if it's almost this giant fountain. And obviously, it's this city, but there's a huge fountain coming out of it that's the size of, you know, I don't know, a 10-story building or something like that. But what are your thoughts on Water 7? And then, of course, this Galley-la Company, who we really haven't been introduced to other than seeing a couple of guys whip some ass. But like I said, just based on the picture, what are your thoughts as well? Leave your answer to those questions in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it. And subscribe if you have not done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation.